So, good morning, all. Welcome, students, for this live problem solving session. This is based on the practice test that we have conducted on last Sunday, that is 20th June. So, these are some of the most important questions that are being frequently asked in both AEEE and JEE exams. So, I request all the students to attend this session carefully, and you can write it down if you want any solutions or something like that. And if you have any queries, you can just type it in the Q&A session. Ma'am will help you to clear all your queries. So I would like to introduce Lakshmi ma'am. She is having an ample year of experience in teaching field. She is now taking online classes for Amrita. Welcome ma'am, welcome Lakshmi ma'am for the session. And again, this will be the session based on June 20th JEE practice test. So if you have any queries, again, I am saying you can just type in the Q&A session. So welcome, ma'am, and over to you, Lakshmi ma'am. We can start the session now.
Thank you, sir. So hi, students. Good morning. So I'm sharing my screen now. I think all of you can see this. Yeah. All of you can see my screen, right? Okay. So today we'll be discussing the mathematics questions of the last Sunday's mock test, the mock test which was held on 20th June. Okay. And I saw a query that if you have any doubts in this question, whom should you ask? I'm typing my mail ID in the chat box at the end of the session. If there is anything, you can mail me. Okay. So let's start. So question number 1. So question number 1 is given as, consider the parabola y square is equal to 8x. Let delta 1 be the area of the triangle formed by the endpoints of its lattice rectum and the point P 1 by 2, 2 on the parabola. And delta 2 be the area of the triangle formed by drawing tangents at P and at the endpoints of the lattice rectum. We have to find delta 1 by delta 2. So here a parabola is given, that is y square is equal to 4x. Two triangles are formed, delta 1 and delta 2. We have to find the area of these triangles. The area of triangle 1 is delta 1 and 2 is delta 2. We have to find the ratio delta 1 by delta 2. So the triangle 1, the area of the triangle is formed by the endpoints of the lattice rectum and the point P. The point P is given in the question as 1 by 2, 2 on the parabola. Delta 2 is the area of the triangle that is formed by drawing tangents at the point P and the endpoints of the lattice rectum. So let's see how we can solve this question. So this is the diagram of the question. So we are drawing the axis, then we are drawing the parabola. Okay. The equation of the parabola is given as y square is equal to 8x. We know that the equation is y square is equal to 4ax. General equation is y square is equal to 4ax. So 8x, we can write it as 4 into 2 into x. So we got the value of a as 2. Now we want to find the endpoints of the lattice rectum. So the endpoints of the lattice rectum is given by, we know the equation, a 2a, a minus 2a. So the other two endpoints will be, we know the value of a is 2. So the other two endpoints will be a 2a is 2, 4 and a minus 2a is 2 minus 4. So we have the parabola, just have a look at the diagram. We have the parabola here. The point P, that is 1 by 2, 2 is a point in the parabola. Then the lattice rectum points are A and B. We find the points, values of A and B. The endpoints of the lattice rectum, the values are 2, 4 and 2 minus 4. Now we have the triangle PAB. That is the triangle delta 1. We can find the area of that triangle, which is formed by the endpoints of the lattice rectum and the point P. We can calculate the area delta 1 as 1 by 2 into 8 into 2 minus 1 by 2. So we got the area of the first triangle as 6. So you can solve this by x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. That is, you can use the formula half into x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2. This is the common formula. So we use this formula to find the area of the triangle as we know the 3 points P, A and B. P is 1 by 2, 2, A is 2, 4, B is 2 minus 4. So the delta 1 area of triangle formed by the endpoints of lattice rectum and point P, we found the value as 6. Now in the diagram, we are going to draw the tangents. Tangents at the 3 points, at the endpoints of the lattice rectum, at the points of the lattice rectum and at P. So you can see dotted lines in the figure, which is the tangent that is drawn at those points. So we have another triangle which is shown in the dotted lines, dark and dotted lines. Now we have to find the area of this new triangle formed by drawing the tangents at the points. So for each point, that is A, P and B, we have to find the equation of the tangent at the point A, point B and point P. So firstly, we find the equation of the tangent at A. The values are 2, 4. We know the equation is y1 is equal to 2a into x plus x1. We have the values. We simply substitute the values in the equation. At A, the points are 2, 4. So y is 4 and x is 2. So simply substituting, we will get the equation of tangent at A, 2, 4 as 4y is equal to 4x plus 8. So cancelling the 4, we can have the first equation as y equal to x plus 2. Similarly, we have to find the equation of tangent at point B and at point P. So equation at point P. The point B is given as 2, minus 4. So substituting the value in y1 is equal to 2a into x plus x1, we will get the equation as minus 4y equal to 4x plus 8. That is minus y equal to x plus 2. In the same way, we have to find the equation of point at the point P, 1 by 2, 2. y1 equal to 2a into x plus x1. The value of x and y is 1 by 2 and 2. So substituting, we have 2y equal to 4x plus 2. Simplifying, we get y is equal to 2x plus 1. So we now have the equations at the points A, B and C. Equation of the tangent through the points A, B and C. Now solving these three equations, we can find the values at each point. So we will solve these two equations. That is the intersection of 1, 2, 2, 3 and 3. 1 and 3. So solving these equations, we can have the value of x and y. So here equation number 1 is y is equal to x plus 2. Equation number 2 is minus y equal to x plus 2. So solving this equation, x plus 2 equal to minus x minus 2. We can have the value of x and y. Similarly, the equation 2 is minus y equal to x plus 2, y equal to 2x plus 1. So solving x plus 2 equal to x plus 2. That is minus of x plus 2. That is minus x minus 2 equal to 2x plus 1. We have 3x equal to minus 3. Similarly, the intersection of the equations 1 and 3, that is equating 2x plus 1 equal to x plus 2. We have the value of x and y. So for the triangle 2, we have the points. Now we have to find the area of the triangle joining these points. So we can take the value as 1 by 2 into minus 2 into solving it using determinants, we can have the value as 3. So we have found out the value of triangle 1, area of triangle 1, that is delta 1 as 6 and delta 2 as 3. So in the question, it is asked to find out delta 1 by delta 2. So 6 by 3, the answer is 2. So just we have to do so many calculations in this question. So I'll tell you once again what the concept is. We are drawing the parabola and the point P is given as 1 by 2, 2. We have the points of, we have to find the points of the lattice rectum. So we draw it as A, B. Then y square equal to 8x means the equation is 4x. So we can find the value of A. So using A, 2A, A minus 2A, we can find the points at A and B. That is the points of the lattice rectum can be found out. The endpoints can be found. So after finding the endpoints, we have the endpoints at the values at P, A, and B. So having these values, we can find the area of the triangle. The first triangle, delta 1. So we solved this and we got the value as 6. Now what we are going to do is, in the second case, we are going to draw tangents at all these points A, P, and B. The darkened line shows the another triangle. Now we have to find the equation of tangent at A, P, and B. We have the equation of the tangent as y1 equal to 2a into x plus x1. So substituting the value of x and y, we can get 3 equations. Solving these 3 equations, we can find the value of all the 3 points. So if we have 3 points, we know how to find the area of the triangle. So the area of second triangle can be found. So taking the ratio of delta 1 by delta 2. Delta 1 is 6 and delta 2 is 3. So we have 6 by 3, which is equal to 2. So checking among the options, the correct answer for the question is option A, that is 2. So in these type of questions, the first thing you have to draw is you have to draw the diagram and understand the concept well, what is asked in the question. Okay. Now we will move on to the next question. That is question number 2. So question number 2 is, if NP5 equal to 32 into N minus 1 P3, then N is. It is given that NP5 is equal to 32 into N minus 1 P3. We have to find the value of N. The value of N is asked in the question. So we know that NP5 can be, we can write NP5 as N factorial by, that is NCR is equal to N factorial by N minus R factorial. This formula is enough to solve this question. NCR equal to N factorial by N minus R factorial. Sorry, NPR is equal to. So NP5 becomes N factorial by N minus 5 factorial, which is equal to 32 into N minus 1 P3. It will become N minus 1 factorial by N minus 1 minus 3 factorial. NP5 is N factorial by N minus 5 factorial, which is equal to 32 into N minus 1 factorial divided by N minus 1 minus 3 factorial. So expanding this, we can write N factorial as N into N minus 1 into N minus 2 into N minus 3 into N minus 4 into N minus 5 factorial. In order to cancel the N minus 5 factorial in the denominator, we will expand this N factorial as N into N minus 1 into N minus 2 into N minus 3 into N minus 4 into N minus 5 factorial. Then this, both the N minus 5 factorial gets cancelled, which is equal to 32 into N minus 1 factorial divided by N minus 1 minus 3 is N minus 4 factorial. So we have N into N minus 1 into N minus 2 into N minus 3 into N minus 4 equal to, we cancel these N minus 5 factorials, equal to 32 into N minus 1 factorial can be, we can write it according to N minus 4 factorial as N minus 1 into N minus 2 into N minus 3 into N minus 4 factorial. This is done in such a way that this N minus 4 factorial gets cancelled out. So we can rewrite this equation as N into N minus 1 into N minus 2 into N minus 3 into N minus 4 equal to 32 into N minus 1 into N minus 2 into N minus 3. This N minus 5 factorial gets cancelled and here N minus 4 factorial gets cancelled. Now the N minus 1, N minus 2, N minus 3 is common in both the sides. So the equation becomes N into N minus 4 is equal to 32. Here N minus 1, N minus 2, N minus 3 is common on both sides. So we cancel them. So we have N into N minus 4 is equal to 32, which means N square minus 4N equal to 32. That is N square minus 4N minus 32 is equal to 0. So finding the solution of N square minus 4N minus 32, we have it as N minus 8 into N plus 4. So n is equal to 8 or minus 4. The value of n is always positive. So we have to choose the option as a positive one. So which will be the correct answer? N is 8. N equal to 8 is the positive option. So it is the correct answer. So checking among the option, we have n is equal to 8. That is the option C is the correct answer. So here in this question, they are given a condition NP5 is equal to 32 into n minus 1 P3. So we can solve this using the equation n factorial by n minus r factorial. Simply substituting this and cancelling the terms out, we can find the value of n. So we have two options, n is equal to 8 and n is equal to minus 4. Taking the positive value, we have n equal to 8 as the answer. So I think everyone is clear. So now moving on to the third question, it is just a minute. Moving on to the third question, it is the value of sigma k equal to 6 I cos 2k pi by 7 plus sine 2k pi by 7 is. The question, it is given that sigma k equal to 0 to 6 I cos 2k pi by 7 plus sine 2k pi by 7. We have to find the value of this. So what we are going to do is we are taking this I outside. So we will have I into sigma k equal to 0 to 6 cos 2k pi by 7 minus I sine 2k pi by 7. So just taking this I outside, and we know that I square equal to 1. So we change this as I into sigma k equal to 0 to 6 cos 2k pi by 7 minus I sine 2k pi by 7. Okay. Now using the equation z equal to cos theta plus I sine theta, we can rewrite this as e raised to I theta. So here theta we consider it as minus 2 pi by 7. So we are going to write this equation as I sigma k equal to 0 to 6 e raised to minus 2k pi by 7. It is e raised to I theta. So it becomes e raised to minus 2k pi by 7. Now substituting e raised to minus 2 pi by 7 as r, we can rewrite this whole equation as I into sigma k equal to 0 to 6 r raised to k. Substituting this as e raised to minus 2 pi by 7 as r, we can get the equation as I into sigma k equal to 0 to 6 r raised to k. We have the equation Sn equal to a into 1 minus r raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus r. Here the value of r is 0 to 6, that is 7. So we rewrite it as I into sigma k equal to 0 to 6 r raised to k as I into, the first term becomes 1. So I into 1 minus r raised to 7 by 1 minus r. I into 1 minus r raised to 7 by 1 minus r. And we know that e raised to minus 2 pi, we can write it as 1 by e raised to 2 pi. So substituting the value of e raised to minus 2 pi can be 1. So here we can rewrite this equation as I into 1 minus 1 by 1 minus r. We know that 1 minus 1 is 0. So the numerator gets 0. So the answer becomes 0. Simply using the formula cos theta plus I sin theta and then substituting it to form the series. That is e raised to minus 2k pi by 7 as r. Then using the equation Sn equal to a into 1 minus r raised to n plus 1 by 1 minus r, we can solve this question. So the correct answer for this question is A, that is 0. So now moving on to the next question, that is question number 4. An 8-digit number which is divisible by 9 is to be formed using digits from 0 to 9 without repeating the digits. The number of ways in which this can be done is an 8-digit number that too is divisible by 9. It is formed from the digits 0 to 9 and it is given that there is no repetition. We have to find the number of ways in which this can be made. number of ways in which this 8-digit number can be arranged. So here we have 8-digit number, and in the question it is given that this number is divisible by 9, and it is formed by using the digits 0 to 9, and there is no repetition. So we have the input as 0 to 9, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 10 digits as the input. From 0 to 9, we have 10 digits as the input. And while taking the sum, we have the value of 45, which is divisible by 9. In the question, it is asked that each 8-digit number we are going to form, it should be divisible by 9. From these 10 digits, we only need 8 digits for our output. So from the 10 digits, we have to eliminate 2 digits. So we have to take the combination of 2 digits that need to be eliminated from these 10 digits to form the 8-digit number. We have 10 digits as the input. We need to find an 8-digit number that is divisible by 9. So what we are going to do is we need to eliminate 2 digits. So we'll form the pairs whose sum is 9. So we can have the pairs as 0, 9, 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. These are the 5 pairs of 2-digit numbers that can be formed from the 10 digits whose sum is divisible by 9. So for each case, we will be eliminating each of these numbers, each of these pairs, and finding out the combination or how many ways we can write the 8-digit number. So each pair we are going to eliminate, and we are now going to find out the number of ways in which this 8-digit number can be arranged without the repetition. So in the first case, we are eliminating the digits 0, 9. So after 0, 9 is eliminated, we have, these are the 8 digits remaining. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are going to arrange them in the form of 8 digits. So the first place contains 8 possibilities. The second has 7. The third has 6. Fourth has 5. Fifth has 4 possibilities. Sixth has 3 possibilities. 7 has 2 possibilities, and the 8 has 1 possibility. So simply saying this, we know that we can write this as 8 factorial. So we can arrange these digits in the form of 8 factorial ways. So after eliminating 0, 9, we have the digits as 1 to 8, and we can arrange them in the form of 8 factorial ways. So the next pair we have found is 1, 8. So eliminating 1, 8, we have the numbers with us as 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Here we have the input as 0. But we know that we can't write 0 in the first position. 0 will not come in the first position. So we have the number of ways to arrange it is 7 into 7 factorial ways. In the first case, we were eliminating 0 and 9. So we have the number of ways as 8 factorial. In the second case, we eliminate 1, 8 pair. So we have 0 to 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 as the digits with us. So in this, 0 will not come in the first position. So the number of ways in which the digits can be arranged to form an 8-digit number is 7 into 7 factorial. Similarly, we have other combinations of digits, 3 more combinations that are 2, 7, 3, 6, and 4, 5. So these 3 pairs also, after getting eliminated, we will have the same ways of arrangement, same number of ways of arrangement, that is 7 into 7 factorial. So the total number of ways can be a sum of all the individual ones. So it is equal to 8 factorial plus all these 4 combinations, they are having 7 into 7 factorial. So the total number of ways of arrangement is 8 factorial plus 4 into 7 into 7 factorial. So from this, we can write this as 8 factorial plus 28 into 7 factorial. So taking the 7 factorial as common from both, we can have 28 plus 8 into 7 factorial, which is equal to 36 into 7 factorial. So 36 into 7 factorial is the correct number of ways of arrangement. So here, we are given an input as 10 digits, and we only need 8 digit number to be formed. So 2-digit combinations, which is divisible by 9, is find out, and eliminating all these combinations and finding out how this can be arranged. Then taking a total of all the combinations, we can have the answer. So first we eliminate the value 0, 9. So the number of arrangement is 8 factorial. Then for the pairs 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, and 4, 5, the number of arrangement, the ways in which the arrangement can be made is 7 into 7 factorial. So the total becomes 8 factorial plus 4 into 7 into 7 factorial. So the total number of ways is 36 into 7 factorial. So the correct answer for this question is, the correct answer for this question is option D, that is 36 into 7 factorial. Now moving on to the fifth question. If 10 raised to 9 plus 2 into 11 into 10 raised to 8 plus 3 into 11 square into 10 raised to 7 plus etc. plus 10 into 11 raised to 9 equal to k into 10 raised to 9. Then k is equal to. So we are given a series like arrangement. It is 10 raised to 9 plus 2 into 11 into 10 raised to 8 plus 3 into 11 square into 10 raised to 7 plus etc. 10 into 11 raised to 9 equal to k into 10 raised to 9. We have to find the value of k. So this is the question. Here we have to find the value of k in k into 10 raised to 9. So we are arranging the series as S is equal to 10 raised to 9 plus 2 into 11 into 10 raised to 8 plus 3 into 11 square into 10 raised to 7 plus etc. 10 into 11 raised to 9. So we are considering the series as S. Now we are going to multiply it by 11 by 10. Multiplying the whole equation A by 11 by 10, we have 11 by 10 S equal to 11 by 10 into this value, 10 raised to 9 plus 2 into 11 into 10 raised to 8 plus 3 into 11 square into 10 raised to 7 plus etc. 10 into 11 raised to 9. Now, taking this 11 by 10 to each of the terms, we have the equation as 11 by 10 is equal to 11 into, this becomes 10 raised to 8 plus 2 into 11 square into 10 raised to 7 plus 3 into 11 cube into 10 raised to 6 plus etc. plus 9 into 10, 11 raised to 9 plus we have 11 raised to 10. Okay. So we are just multiplying the equation by 11 by 10 and we have just another equation. So we are having two equations here, A and B. Now what we are going to do is we are going to subtract V from equation A. So it becomes S minus 11 by 10S, which is minus 1 by 10S equal to 10 raised to 9 plus 2 into 11 into 10 raised to 8 minus 11 into 10 raised to 8. So it becomes 1 into 11 into 10 raised to 8. Similarly, subtracting all these terms, we can have this equation. That is minus 1 by 10 is equal to 10 raised to 9 plus 11 into 10 raised to 8 plus 11 square into 10 raised to 7 plus 11 cube into 10 raised to 6 plus etc. 11 raised to 9 minus this 11 raised to 10. Here it becomes 11 raised to 9 and this term becomes 11 raised to 10. So we have the series and we know that we can write the series as Sn is equal to A into R raised to n minus 1 by R minus 1. We have to find the value of R. So value of R is 11 into 10 raised to 8 by 10 raised to 9. So we have the value of R as 11 by 10. Now substituting this in the Sn, we can find it. It becomes minus 1 by 10 is equal to A is 10 raised to 9. A is here 10 raised to 9. So 10 raised to 9 into, we have already found the value of R as 11 by 10. So 11 by 10 whole raised to n is 10. So 11 by 10 whole raised to n minus 1 by R is 11 by 10. So 11 by 10 minus 1. So we are rewriting this equation as minus 1 by 10 is equal to 10 raised to 9, that is A, into R raised to n minus 1 by R minus 1, where R is 11 by 10 and n is 10. So this equation becomes minus 1 by 10 is equal to 10 raised to 9 into 11 by 10 whole raised to 10 minus 1 by 11 by 10 minus 1. Minus, here we have the value 11 raised to 10. So minus 11 raised to 10. So now we are going to solve this equation. So 11 by 10 minus 1 equal to 1 by 10. So taking this to the upper side, to the numerator side, we have the value as minus 1 by 10 is equal to 10 raised to 9 into this 1 by 10 becomes 10 by 1. So 10 raised to 9 into, here the 10 is there, into 10 into 11 by 10 whole raised to 10 minus 1 minus 11 raised to 10. So this portion becomes 11 raised to 10 minus 10 raised to 10 by 10 raised to 10. So this 10 raised to 10 and this 10 raised to 10 gets cancelled, and minus 1 by 10 is equal to 11 raised to 10 minus 10 raised to 10 minus 11 raised to 10. So both the 11 raised to 10 gets cancelled. We have minus 1 by 10 is equal to minus 10 raised to 10. Minus 1 by 10 is equal to minus 10 raised to 10. That is 1 by 10 s becomes 10 raised to 10. So s becomes 10 raised to 11. So we have found the value of s equal to 10 raised to 11. That is the series we got reduced it to the term 10 raised to 11. Now we know that the series is equal to k into 10 raised to 9. So substituting s equal to k into 10 raised to 9. So k into 10 raised to 9 equal to 10 raised to 11. We know that this 10 raised to 11, we can write it as 10 square into 10 raised to 9. So replacing this 10 raised to 11 as 10 square into 10 raised to 9, we have k equal to 10 square. That is k equal to 100. So in this question paper, most of the questions are in this similar format, in the form of series. So you need to have an idea about the equations and all. Okay. So I'll tell this question once again. In the question, it is given as 10 raised to 9 plus 2 into 11 into 10 raised to 8 plus 3 into 11 square into 10 raised to 7 plus 3 into 4 into 11 cube into 10 raised to 6 plus etc. plus 10 into 11 raised to 9 equal to k into 10 raised to 9. So how we are solving this question is, we are multiplying the whole equation by 11 by 10. So initially we take the series as s. That is s is equal to the series. It is given in the question. So we are writing it as equation 1. Then multiplying this whole by 11 by 10, we have another equation. So subtracting these two equations, we can have this in the form of a series. So we know that Sn equal to a into r raised to n minus 1 by r minus 1. So reducing it, we have the value of a and r. Simply substituting these values and solving, we have the value, we reduce the value of s as 10 raised to 11. And we know that s equal to that expansion, which is in turn equal to k into 10 raised to 9. So substituting k into 10 raised to 9 equal to 10 raised to 11. We know that 10 raised to 11 equal to 10 raised to 2 into 10 raised to 9. So we got k as 10 square. That is k is equal to 100. So the correct answer for this question is option D, that is 100. So please do all these questions by yourself and find out if you're getting this answer. Okay. So the next question is question number 6. The value of the determinant b square c square bc b plus c a square c square ca c plus a b square ab a plus b. This is a direct question. You can solve it by finding the determinant using the formula of determinant, or you can use shortcuts to solve this determinant without expanding it. Okay. So here we know how to solve this determinant. How we can solve it? B square c square into, taking the first term, b square c square into ca into a plus b minus ab into c plus a, minus the second term is bc. bc into a square c square into a plus b minus c plus a into b square a square plus b plus c into a square c square into ab minus ca into b square a square. Simply using this, we can solve this question. So after expanding all the terms, we can find that expanding and solving, all the terms will get cancelled. And we can see that we have the result as 0. This is a very simple question. You can solve it just by using the formula of determinant. So after expanding this, all the terms will get cancelled and the resultant is 0. So the correct answer for this question is option D, that is 0. So please do solve these questions using pen and paper and find out you are getting the answer or not. Okay. So the next question is question number 7. So in question number 7, it is given that if 1 by root A and 1 by root B are the roots of the equation ax square plus bx plus 1 equal to 0. Given that A not equal to 0 and AB belongs to R. Then they have given another equation, that is x into x plus b cube plus a cube minus 3abx equal to 0 has roots. So we are given an equation ax square plus bx plus 1 equal to 0. And the condition is A not equal to 0, AB belongs to R. The roots of the first equation is 1 by root alpha and 1 by root beta. Then we have to find the roots of the equation x into x plus b cube plus a cube minus 3abx equal to 0. So let's see how we can solve this question. Okay. So here, the two roots are given. 1 by root alpha, 1 by root beta. We have the sum of roots as minus b by a. That is 1 by root alpha plus 1 by root beta. So the sum of roots becomes root alpha plus root beta by root alpha beta. The product of the roots becomes 1 by root alpha, 1 by root beta. That is 1 by a. So if two roots are given, we can find out the product of roots and sum of roots. From these product of roots and sum of roots, if 1 by a equal to 1 by root alpha into 1 by root beta, we can have a as root alpha into root beta. So we got the value of a. When we have a, we can find the value of b. So this root alpha root beta becomes a. So minus b is equal to root alpha plus root beta. So b becomes minus of root alpha plus beta. So what we are doing in this question is we are having two roots. We are finding out the sum of roots and product of roots and finding out the value of a and b. Now we are using this a and b and substituting it in the equation where we need to find the roots. We are given an equation that x into x plus b cube plus a cube minus 3abx equal to 0. We have the a value of a and b here. Substituting this a and b in the equation given. So this equation we can rewrite it as x square plus b cube x plus a cube minus 3abx equal to 0. That is x square plus a cube plus b cube x minus 3abx equal to 0. Taking x outside, we can have it as x square plus a cube plus x into b cube minus 3ab equal to 0. So we just rearrange the equation given in the question. And after that, we are going to substitute for a and b. We know that a is root alpha root beta, b is root alpha plus root beta. So here this equation, after substituting this equation, x square plus a cube plus x into b cube minus 3ab becomes x square plus a is root alpha root beta whole cube plus x into b cube becomes minus root alpha plus root beta whole cube minus 3 into a is root alpha beta, b is minus of root alpha plus root beta. So we rearrange this equation. Now x square minus, we are taking the x term first. So x square, taking this minus outside, we are having this equation as root alpha plus root beta whole cube. We are expanding it. What is a plus b whole cube? A plus b whole cube equal to a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square. That 3a square b plus 3ab square, we can write it as 3ab into a plus b. We can rewrite 3a square b plus 3ab square as 3ab into a plus b. So root alpha whole cube, it becomes alpha raised to 3 by 2 plus root beta whole cube becomes beta raised to 3 by 2. So a cube plus b cube plus 3a into a plus b, that is 3 into root alpha root beta into root alpha plus root beta. Then writing the remaining, that is minus 3 into root alpha beta into root alpha plus root beta. So these two terms get cancelled out. After expanding root alpha plus root beta whole cube, these two terms, that is minus 3 root alpha beta into root alpha plus root beta, gets cancelled with the other term. So we get the equation as x square minus x into alpha raised to 3 by 2 plus beta raised to 3 by 2 plus alpha beta whole raised to 3 by 2. So while analyzing this equation, we can have the alpha beta raised to 3 by 2 as the product of the roots and alpha raised to 3 by 2 plus beta raised to 3 by 2 as the sum of the roots. So after simplifying this equation, we can simply find the roots as alpha raised to 3 by 2 and beta raised to 3 by 2. So we got the roots of the equation as alpha raised to 3 by 2, beta raised to 3 by 2. So now we can check among the option. Yeah. So this is the question. Now we can check among the options. So among these options, the correct answer is option A, that is alpha raised to 3 by 2, beta raised to 3 by 2. So here we are given two roots and the equation. So what we do is we are finding the product of roots and sum of roots, and after that we are substituting, we are finding out B and A, and we are substituting the values of A and B in the new equation. Solving out and finding the roots of the equation as alpha raised to 3 by 2 and beta raised to 3 by 2. This is the way we solve this question. Okay. Now let's see the other question. The principal value of tan inverse of cot 43 pi by 4 is. The value of tan inverse of cot 43 pi by 4. So value of tan inverse of cot 43 pi by 4. We can write this theta as n pi plus theta. Okay. This is cot theta. We can write it as cot of n pi plus theta. That is, we can rearrange this as tan inverse of cot of 10 pi plus 3 pi by 4. We'll get this as 43 pi by 4. So tan inverse of cot of 10 pi plus 3 pi by 4. We know that cot of n pi plus theta equal to cot theta. So we can rearrange this as tan inverse of cot of 3 pi by 4. Cot of 10 pi plus 3 pi by 4, we can write it as cot of 3 pi by 4 using the equation cot of n pi plus theta equal to cot theta. Now, we can write cot theta as tan of pi by 2 minus theta. Tan of pi by 2 minus theta. So this equation, this becomes tan inverse of cot 3 pi by 4. That is cot theta. We can rewrite it as tan of pi by 2 minus 3 pi by 4. Tan inverse of tan of pi by 2 minus 3 pi by 4. So solving this, we can have the value of pi by 2 minus 3 pi by 4 as minus pi by 4. So tan inverse of tan, we know that it is tan inverse of tan theta is that theta. So we have the value as minus pi by 4. So we solve this equation using 2 to 3 formulas. In the question, it is asked to find out tan inverse of cot of 43 pi by 4. So we know that cot theta equal to cot of n pi plus theta. So we are arranging this 43 pi by 4 as n pi plus theta. That is 10 pi plus 3 by 4. So it becomes cot theta, that is cot of 3 pi by 4. So it is tan inverse of cot of 3 pi by 4. Now we know the equation tan pi by 2 minus theta equal to cot theta. So arranging cot 3 pi by 4 as tan of pi by 2 minus 3 pi by 4. So we have tan inverse of tan of pi by 2 minus 3 pi by 4. Solving this, we can have the value as minus pi by 4. So tan inverse of tan of minus pi by 4 is pi by 4. So we have the value of tan inverse of cot of 4 pi by 4 as pi by 4 minus pi by 4. So using 2 to 3 formulas, we can get the answer. Just substituting this and solving. Okay. So checking among the options, we have the value as the principal value of tan inverse of cot of 43 pi by 4 as minus pi by 4. Okay. We solve this answer as minus pi by 4. Now the next question is from the chapter measures of central tendency and dispersion. That is, the sum of squares of deviations for 12 observations taken from mean 25 is 300. The coefficient of variations is. We have the sum of squares of deviations for 12 observations. So we have n equal to 12. The mean is given as 25. And sum of squares of deviation value is given as 300. We have to find out the coefficient of variations in this question. Coefficient of variation. Okay. So n is 12. The mean is given as 25. The coefficient of variations is given as 300. We can write it as sigma I equal to 0 to n mod of xi minus x whole square, which is equal to 300. We have to find the value of sigma here. Sigma, we can use the formula root of 1 by n into sigma equal to 0 to n mod of xi minus x whole square. We have both these values. The squares of deviation is 300 and the n number of observation is 12. So root of 300 by 12, which is root 25, which is equal to 5. Now applying this in the formula for coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation can be found out by sigma by mean into 100. Sigma, we got the value as 5. Mean is given in the question as 25. So 5 by 25 into 100. We got the answer as 20%. Okay. Sorry. So in this question, 12 observations, n is given, mean is given as 25, and sum of squares of deviations is given as 300. So the sum of squares of deviation, we know it is 300. It is sigma equal to 0 to n xi minus x square. And we need to find the value of sigma. So sigma is equal to root of 1 by n into sigma equal to 0 to n mod of xi minus x square. So substituting these values, it becomes 300 by 12. So root of 25, which is equal to 5. In the question, it is asking to find out the coefficient of variation. So coefficient of variation becomes sigma by mean into 100. Sigma is 5, mean is 25. So 5 by 25 into 100, we have it as 20%. So checking among the option, the correct answer is 20%. That is option B. This is a very simple question. Similarly, the next question is, if the mean and the standard deviation of a binomial distribution are given. Mean is given as 20 and the binomial distribution deviation. It is of a binomial distribution. So for the binomial distribution, the mean is given as 20. Standard deviation is given as 2. That is sigma is given as 2. Now we have to find out the number of trials. That is, we have to find out the value of n in this question. In question number 10, we have to find the value of n. So we know that for the binomial distribution, we know what is n. N is the number of trials. What is p? P means probability of success. Q means probability of failure. We know that p plus q equal to 1. So q is 1 minus p. The mean is given in the question as 20 and the standard deviation sigma is given as 2. So we know the formula for mean, that is mu is equal to np. And the standard deviation sigma is root of npq, that is 2. So we have np equal to 20 and root of npq equal to 2. So taking the square root, npq equal to 4. We have the value of np. Substituting it here, we can find the value of q. Q is equal to 4 by np. That is 4 by 20. We have q as 1 by 5. So we have the value of n here, the probability, the p here, that is of success probability, and we found the value of q. Q is equal to, sorry, we find the value of p. We have the value of n and q, we can find the value of p. P is equal to 1 minus q, that is 1 minus 1 by 5, which is equal to 4 by 5. Now we have to find the value of n. N is equal to, we have np equal to 20, we can find n is equal to 20 by 4 by 5, that is equal to 25. We got the number of trials as 25. So here in this question, it is given that mean is equal to 20, standard deviation is equal to 2. So NP equal to 20 and NPQ equal to 4. Taking the square, we have NPQ equal to 4. So Q is equal to 1 by 5, we got it. So substituting, we can find the value of P as 1 minus 1 by 5. So P, we will get the value as 4 by 5. Then we have to find the number of trials. Number of trials is equal to n. So substituting 4, we can have the value of n as 25. So checking among the option, the correct answer for this question is 25. N is equal to 25. Now the next question is question number 11. If x square plus y square plus sin y equal to 4, then the value of d square y by dx square at the point minus 2, 0 is. It is given in the question that x square plus y square plus sin y equal to 4. Then the value of d square y by dx square at the point minus 2, 0 is. Okay. So we are going to differentiate the equation given in the question. The equation is x square plus y square equal to, x square plus y square plus sin y equal to 4. So differentiating with respect to x, x square becomes 2x. Y square becomes 2y dy by dx. Sin y is cos y dy by dx. For the constant, it becomes 0. So rearranging this equation, 2x plus 2y dy by dx plus cos y dy by dx equal to 0. So we have 2y dy by dx plus cos into dy by dx equal to minus 2x. Taking the minus 2x to the other side, 2x to the other side, it becomes minus 2x. Taking dy by dx in common, we have dy by dx into 2y plus cos y equal to minus 2x. So we can write dy by dx as minus 2x by 2y plus cos y. So differentiating, we found the value of dy by dx as minus 2x by 2y plus cos y. And in the question, it is given that at the point, you have to calculate it at the points minus 2, 0. So x is given as minus 2 and y is given as 0. So substituting for this, minus 2 into minus 2 by 2 into 0 plus cos 0. So it becomes 4 by, we know that cos 0 is 1. So we have the value of dy by dx as 4. Now we are taking it as d square y by dx square, differentiating with respect to x once again. For the dy by dx, we have already found out. We have dy by dx equal to minus 2x by 2y plus cos y. Now differentiating with respect to x, we have d square y by dx square. We are using the formula for d by dx of u by v in order to solve this equation, in order to differentiate this. So d by dx of u by v is v into du by dx minus u into dv by dx by v square. Use this equation to differentiate, find the differential. D by dx of u by v equal to v into du by dx minus u into dv by dx by v square. Here u is minus 2x and v is 2y plus cos y. So v into du by dx, v is 2y plus cos y. So writing 2y plus cos y as it is, and minus 2x with respect to x is minus 2. Minus u is minus 2x. So writing minus 2x as it is and differentiating 2y plus cos y with respect to x. So 2y is 2 into dy by dx plus cos y is minus sin y. So minus sin y dy by dx by v square. V is 2y plus cos y. So by 2y plus cos y whole square. So we got the d square y by dx square as 2y plus cos y into minus 2 minus 2x into 2 dy by dx minus sin y dy by dx by 2y plus cos y whole square. Now substituting the value of x and y, x equal to minus 2 and y equal to 0. We have 2 into 0 plus cos 0 is 1. So 1 into minus 2 minus 4 into 2 into dy by dx, we have already found the value as 4. So substituting that 4 in this equation, we have 2 into 4 minus sin 0 is 0. 0 into dy by dx is 4. So substituting for x and y, we have the value as d square y by dx square equal to minus 34. In the question, it is asked to find the value of d square y by dx square at the points minus 2, 0. At the point x equal to minus 2 and y equal to 0. So we have the value as minus 2 minus 32, which is equal to minus 34. Now checking among the options, we have the correct answer as option A, that is minus 34. So for question number 11, the option is minus 34. So now we will move on to the next question. If question number 12, if for a continuous function f of x, integral over minus pi to t, f of x plus x dx equal to pi square minus tx. Sorry, pi square minus t square. The condition is given as t greater than or equal to minus pi, and we have to find out f of minus pi by 3. This is a very simple question. Yeah. The question, it is given as integral over minus pi to t, f of x plus x dx equal to pi square minus t square. So we are splitting it in the two functions. So we can have integral over minus pi to t f of x dx plus integral over minus pi to t x dx equal to pi square minus x square. So integrating all these terms in separate, that is, first we are going to integrate integral over minus pi to t x dx, which is equal to x square by 2 into the limit is minus pi, t to minus pi. So substituting this value, we can have the upper limit as t. So t square by 2 minus pi square by 2. So integral over minus pi to t x dx equal to minus 1 by 2 into pi square minus t square. So we find the differential of integral over t to minus pi to t x dx. Sorry, it is integral over minus pi to t x dx. We got the value as minus 1 by 2 into pi square minus t square. Okay, so we have this value as, we found the value of integral of minus pi to t x into dx as minus 1 by 2 into pi square minus t square. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to substitute in this equation the value of integral of minus pi to t x dx. And we can find the value of integral of minus pi to t f of x dx. So this equation can be written as, how we can write this equation? Pi square minus t square plus 1 by 2 into pi square minus t square. Substituting integral of minus pi to t x dx as minus 1 by 2 into pi square minus t square and taking it to the right side, we can find the value of integral of minus pi to t f of x dx. It becomes pi square minus t square this is minus, so here in the right side it becomes plus 1 by 2 into pi square minus t square. So we have it as 1 by 2 plus 10 as 3 by 2. So sorry, 1 by 2 plus this 1. So it is 3 by 2 into pi square minus t square. We already know that minus 1 by 2 into pi square minus t square is integral of minus pi to t x dx. So we are substituting this equation, taking the 3 outside, the minus 3 outside, it becomes integral over minus pi to t x dx. So this can be replaced as integral over minus pi to t minus 3x dx. So this integral, we can have the value of, this is integral over minus pi to t f of x dx equal to integral over minus pi to t minus 3x dx. So we can have f of x as minus 3x. Simply substituting this equation, we can find the value of f of x. In the question, it is asked to find out the value of f of minus pi by 3. So we can write this as f of minus pi by 3 equal to minus 3 into minus pi by 3, which is equal to minus pi. That is option A. This minus pi is option A. So let's see this question once again. It is written as, it is given as minus pi to t f of x plus x dx equal to pi square minus t square. So splitting the integral to both the terms, it is minus pi to t f of x dx plus integral over minus pi to t x dx equal to pi square minus t square. Now we are finding the integral values of x dx and f of x dx separately. So first we are finding integral over minus pi to t x dx, which is equal to x square by 2 minus pi to t. So we have it as t square by 2 minus pi square by 2. Now substituting this value in the place of integral in the equation given in the question, we can have integral of minus pi to t f of x dx as 3 by 2 into pi square minus t square. this can be written as minus 3 times integral of minus pi to t x dx. Thus it becomes integral over minus pi to t minus 3x dx. This 1 by 2 pi square minus t square, it is x dx. So substituting it as minus 3 into x dx. So this equation becomes integral over minus pi to t f of x dx equal to integral over minus pi to t minus 3x dx. So f of x equal to minus 3x, and we are asked to find the value of x at minus pi by 3. So f of minus pi by 3 equal to 3 into minus pi by 3, which is equal to minus pi. So the correct answer for this question is option A. Now moving on to the next question, the question number 13. So here, the solution of the differential equation dy by dx plus y by 2 sec x equal to tan x by 2y, and the condition is given as 0 less than or equal to x less than pi by 2 and y of 0 equal to 1 is given by. So we have to find the solution of the differential equation at y of 0 equal to 1. And it is given that x lies between 0 and pi by 2. The equation is dy by dx plus y sec x equal to tan x by 2y. Now let's see how we can solve this. We have dy by dx plus y. Yeah. dy by dx plus y by 2 sec x equal to tan x by 2y. This is the question. What we are going to do is, taking this 2y to the left side, the equation, we can rearrange it as 2y into dy by dx plus 2y into y by 2. It becomes y square into sec x. This 2y into y by 2 sec x becomes 2 gets cancelled and it becomes y square sec x equal to tan x. Now we are putting y square as t. So we can have d square, this y square, we are differentiating with respect to t. We have 2y into dy by dx equal to dt by dx. Substituting this y square as t in the equation. So we have y square equal to t. So 2y into dy by dx equal to dt by dx. So this 2y into dy by dx becomes dt by dx. So the whole equation we can rearrange it in terms of t as dt by dx plus t into sec x equal to tan x. Here it is 2y dy by dx, which becomes dt by dx plus y square into sec x. Y square we can write it as t. So it becomes t into sec x equal to tan x. So this is the equation we found out. We know the concept that dy by dx plus p of x into y equal to q of x. Using that equation, we will find the integrating factor. We know that integrating factor is equal to e raised to integral of p of x dx. Here sec x is the p of x and tan x is the q of x. The general form of the equation is dy by dx plus p of x into y equal to q of x, where integrating factor becomes e raised to integral of p of x dx. E raised to integral of p of x dx. So we can write the integrating factor as e raised to integral of p of x. P of x here is sec x. So e raised to integral of sec x dx. Integral of sec x is log sec x plus tan x. So e and the log, it will get cancelled and we have the value of integrating factor as sec x plus tan x. Now substituting this, we found the integrating factor. Now we know that we are writing the equation as y into integrating factor is equal to integral of c into, that is the constant value, into x. So here the equation becomes t into integrating factor is equal to integral of sec x plus tan x, integrating factor into, here tan x is the constant value, into tan x dx. This is the general format. So t into integrating factor is equal to integral of integrating factor into c dx. So substituting this t as y square. So this equation becomes y square into sec x plus tan x equal to integral of, this becomes sec x into tan x dx plus tan x whole square dx. Okay. So now y square into sec x plus tan x equal to integral over sec x tan x dx is sec x Integral of tan x square is tan x minus x plus constant. Now in the question, it is given clearly the condition that y of 0 equal to 1 and the range is 0 to pi by 2. So as y of 0 equal to 1 means x equal to 0 and y equal to 1. So substituting this in the whole equation that x equal to 0 and y equal to 1, we can find out the value of c. So we have y square, y is 1, it is 1 square plus sec 0 is 1, tan 0 is 0. That is the left side becomes 1 equal to sec 0 is 1, tan 0 is 0 minus x is 0 plus c. So here 1 is equal to 1 plus c. So we can find that c equal to 0. So this constant becomes 0. We can rewrite this equation as y square into sec x plus tan x equal to sec x plus tan x minus x. Here we can find the value of y square as y square equal to sec x plus tan x minus x divided by sec x plus tan x. Y square equal to sec x plus tan x minus x divided by sec x plus tan x. We can rearrange this equation as y square equal to 1 minus x by sec x plus tan x. We can rearrange this equation as y square equal to 1 minus x by sec x plus tan x. So in this question, we are given the equation, we have differentiated the equation and we have substituted y square as t. Okay, then we have differentiated it and then we have to find the integrating factor. After finding the integrating factor, substituting in the equation, that is t into integrating factor is equal to integral of integrating factor into constant. And finding out the constant value by substituting the given condition, that is y of 0 equal to 1. That is x equal to 0 and y equal to 1. We find the constant value of 0. Then we can find the value of y square as 1 minus x by sec tan x. So the correct option for this question is option D. That is y square equal to 1 minus x by sec x plus tan x. Now moving on to the next question. The foot of the perpendicular drawn from the origin on the line, that is 3x plus y equal to lambda, where lambda not equal to 0 is given, is P. So the foot of the perpendicular drawn from the origin on the line 3x plus y equal to lambda, lambda not equal to 0 is P. If the line meets at the x-axis at A and y-axis at B, we have to find the ratio of BP to PA or BP to AP. So here, so we have to draw the diagram first. We know that the equation is given as 3x plus y equal to lambda and lambda not equal to 0. Okay. Sorry. And in the question, it is given that the foot of the perpendicular drawn from the origin on the line 3x plus y equal to lambda is P. So a perpendicular is drawn from the origin to this line and the point is P and it meets the point P. Okay. This is the line we have drawn, that is 3x plus y minus lambda equal to 0. And here from the origin, the perpendicular is drawn and the point is the foot of the perpendicular. The point is given as P in the question. Okay. Now, line meets the x-axis at A and y-axis at B. So the line meets both the axes at the points A and B, it is given. So here, this is the line which is drawing, that is 3x plus y equal to lambda. It meets that the x-axis at the point A and y-axis at the point B. We have to find the ratio of BP, PA. Okay. So here we will rewrite this equation as y is equal to minus 3x plus lambda. So first we have to draw this diagram. So in this diagram, we know that we draw the line and there is a perpendicular from origin to the line at the point P, and we name the point at the x-axis as B, x-axis as A and y-axis as B. That is in the figure. So now we rearrange the equation of the line as y equal to minus 3x plus lambda. So y equal to minus 3x plus lambda is in the equation of y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the slope. So we can have the value of minus mx. Here m is minus 3. So we can have the value of the slope as minus 3, and which is equal to tan theta. So here from the equation itself, we find the value of the slope, that is minus 3, which is equal to tan theta. Now, In order to find the ratio of BP and PA, we need to take the angles. So taking the triangle OAB, we know that the angle A is given as theta. Then the angle O is 90 degree. Then we can find the value of angle B as 90 minus theta. So taking the triangle OAB, A is given as theta, O is given as 90 degree, then the B becomes 90 minus theta. Now taking these two triangles and taking the values, we can find the ratio of PA and PB. Okay. So taking the tan theta at the triangle OAP, tan theta equal to opposite side by adjacent side. So it becomes OP by PA. So taking the triangle OPA and taking the value of tan theta, it becomes OP by AP or PA. Now, considering the next triangle, that is OPB or OBP, and we have the angle of B as 90 minus theta. So taking tan 90 minus theta, which is equal to opposite side by adjacent side, that is OP by BP. So for both these triangles, we have OP in common. So we'll do cot theta. Sorry, we have tan theta equal to OP by AP in the triangle OPA, and in triangle OPB, we have tan 90 minus theta equal to OP by BP. So tan 90 minus theta, we can replace it as cot theta. So cot theta equal to OP by BP. So we have these two equations, that is tan theta equal to OP by AP and cot theta equal to OP by BP. So dividing tan theta by cot theta, we can have OP by AP by OP by BP. 1 by cot theta equal to tan theta. So we have tan theta square is equal to BP by AP. We have already found tan theta as the slope, that is minus 3. So here the square of tan theta is BP by AP. So 3 square is equal to 9 is the value. So BP becomes 9 and AP it is 1. So the ratio becomes 9:1. So in this question, we have to draw this triangle and we have to find the angles theta, 90 minus theta, then we have to equate and find out the value of BP by AP. It is 9:1. So in the question, the option is D. We got the ratio as BP is to AP as option D. Now we will move on to the next question. The next question is equation of the tangent to the circle at the point 1, -1, whose center is at the point of intersection of the straight line x minus y equal to 1 and 2x plus y equal to 3. We have the equation of the tangent to the circle at the point 1, -1. Here it is given that the center is at the point of intersection of the straight line. The equation for the line is x minus y equal to 1 and 2x plus y equal to 3. So here, this is the, just look at the diagram. This is the concept we have given. For the tangent, the point of intersection P of 1, -1. And here, this is the center of the circle. So we have the lines, that is x minus y equal to 1 and 2x plus y equal to 3. So the center of the circle is at the point of intersection of the straight line. So we have to find the center by solving this equation of the straight lines. So solving the two equations, we can have x minus y equal to 1. From that, we can find the value of x and substitute it in 2x plus y equal to 3. We can find the value of y and x. So this x and y is the center points of the circle. We got the value of y as 1/3 and x as 4/3. So the center point becomes 4/3, 1/3. It is given in the question that the center of the circle is the point of intersection of the straight line. So solving these straight lines and finding the value of x and y, we can have the center points. It is 4/3 and 1/3. So after solving this, we have to find out the slope of the line. So the slope of the line, we know that it is m. The slope of the line OP, we can know it as m. We have the values of the points O as 4/3, 1/3 and P as 1, -1. So using these points, we can solve it as m. The slope is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus y1. Sorry, x2 minus x1. M is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So that is 1/3 minus minus 1, that is plus 1 by 4 by 3 minus 1. So we have the slope of the line OP as M. The value is 4. So with the conditions given in the question, we know that the slope of the tangent to the circle will be 1 by slope of the line. So the slope of the line is 4. So it will be minus 1 by the slope of the line. So the slope of the tangent to the circle becomes minus 1 by slope of the line. That is minus 1 by 4. Given these conditions in the question, we have a formula that the slope of the tangent to the circle at the point P becomes minus 1 by times the slope of the line. So minus 1 by slope of the line, we got the value of M as 4. So slope of the tangent to the circle becomes minus 1 by 4. Now we have the equation of the tangent as M equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. We have the values with us and we are substituting these values in this equation and developing the equation. So substituting the value of P, that is 1 minus 1, we have y plus 1 equal to slope is minus 1 by 4 into x2 minus x1. So we have the equation as x plus 4y plus 3. So in the question, so equation of the tangent to the circle, we found the equation of the tangent to the circle as x plus 4y plus 3 equal to 0. That is the correct answer for this, the correct answer for this question is option A. So in this question, we are given the circle, we are given the equation of the lines, then the point P intersection, the point values are given here. So solving these lines, we will find the value of the center. And we have the point values at P and O. Then we can find out the slope by the equation M is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So we have the slope of lines as 4. If we have the slope of line, then the slope of the tangent to the circle can be found by minus 1 by slope of line. That is minus 1 by 4. Then we can easily find the equation of the tangent by equating the values. The tangent at the point P is given. So equating the values M into x2 minus x1 equal to y2 minus y1, and solving we can have it as x plus 4y plus 3 equal to 0. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. It is question number 16. The equation of a circle described on the code 3x plus y plus 5 equal to 0 of the circle x square plus y square equal to 16 as diameter is. So we have to find the equation of the circle which is described on the code. The code is given as 3x plus y plus 5 equal to 0 and the circle is given as x square plus y square equal to 16. So here 3x plus y plus 5 equal to 0 is the code. The circle equation is given as x square plus y square equal to 16. So from the equation of the code, we can have y is equal to minus 3x minus 5. So putting this y in the equation of the circle, we can find the root of x. So substituting for y square in the equation of the circle, we can solve x as minus 15 plus or minus 3 into root 15 by 10. You can do it yourself. It is minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So we have the value of x as minus 15 plus or minus 3 into root 15 by 10. Now we have to find the value of y. So in order to find the value of y, we have the equation of y as minus 3x minus 5. We already found the value of x. So substituting the value of x, we can find the value of y in the equation. So y is equal to minus 3 into x minus 5. And the other solution is minus 3 into x minus 5. So substituting this values, we can find the value of y coordinate also. Okay. So we have the value of x coordinate and the y coordinate here. Now the endpoints of the code, we have to find out the endpoints of the code values. We can find out it as x1 plus, the equation to find the value of the code is x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2. So we have the value of x1, x2 and y1, y2. So solving this equation, we can find the center of the circle. So in this question, we are given the code and the circle. So from the code, we are substituting in terms of y and finding out the value of x. Similarly, substituting for x, we are finding the points of y. So we have the endpoints of the code x1, x2, y1, y2. Okay. And also in the question, it is given that the chord is acting as a diameter. The chord is forming as a diameter to another circle. So the midpoint of the chord we can find out by x1, x2 by 2, y1, y2 by 2. So we'll get the center of the circle as minus 3 by 2 and minus 1 by 2. Now, substituting for the equation of the circle, we have x plus 3 by 2 minus 3 by 2 whole square plus y plus minus 1 by 2 whole square equal to r square. This is the equation of the circle. Now, we have the value of x and y. x1, x2, y1, y2. So, substituting for any value of x and y, we can find the value of r square. So, here we are taking x as minus 15 plus 3 root 15 by 10 and y as minus 5 minus 9 root 15 by 10. So solving this, we can have the value of r square as 27 by 2. Now simply putting this in the equation of the circle, we can solve and find out the new equation. That is x plus 3 by 2 whole square plus y plus 1 by 2 whole square equal to 27 by 2. So solving this, we can have the final equation as x square plus 3x plus y square plus y minus 11 equal to 0. So this is a simple question. You have to do some calculations. That's all for the question. You are having a code to the circle. So substituting for y and x, you are finding the values, coordinates of x1, x2 and y1, y2. So if you have the endpoints of the code, you can find the center of the circle as x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2. So after finding the center of circle, rewriting the equation of the circle and substituting any value of x and y and finding the value of the r. So after finding out the value of the r, substituting in the equation and developing the equation for the circle. Solving this and developing the equation for the circle, we have x square plus 3x plus y square plus y minus 11 equal to 0. So you have to do the calculations yourself. So checking on the options, we can have the question option A as the correct answer. That is x square plus y square plus 3x plus y minus 11 equal to 0. Now moving on to the next question. The area in the square units of the region x belongs to R such that x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to x minus 2 and y less than or equal to root x is. So here the area of the region, it is given in the question that x belongs to R, x greater than or equal to 0, y is also greater than or equal to 0, y is greater than or equal to x minus 2 and it is y itself, y is less than or equal to root x. So drawing the parabola for the root x. So it is given that everything is greater than 0, x and y both are greater than 0. So it will come to this quadrant. And drawing the curve for y equal to root x, it will be in this portion. And we have the line that is y equal to x minus 2. So drawing these two lines, we have a curve like this. Okay. Now finding out the point of intersection by solving these two equations, that is x minus 2 equal to root x, we can have the value of x equal to 4. So solving this equation, we can find the point of intersection as 4, 2. Where this y is equal to x minus 2 and y is equal to root x, where it meets at the point 4, 2. Okay. In the question, it is asked to find the area of the, that is the area of the shaded portion. So what we are doing is we are developing it as a triangle, and what we are doing is we are subtracting the whole area minus the area of triangle. So we can find the area of the shaded portion. The area of the whole curve minus the area of the triangle, we can have the area of the shaded portion. So this area A can be found out using A is equal to integral of 0 to 4 root x dx minus area of the triangle ABC. So root x is x raised to 1 by 2. So integral of 0 to 4 root x dx becomes 2 by 3 into x raised to 3 by 2 to the limit 0 to 4 minus 1 by 2 into 2 into 2. We have the area of triangle, just calculate it as length into breadth, both are 2. So half into b into h, it is half into 2 into 2. And substituting the limit 4 to 0, this area becomes 2 by 3 into 4 raised to 3 by 2 minus 2. Solving this equation, we can have it as 16 by 3 minus 2, which is equal to 10 by 3 square unit. So we have to draw this curve first, and we have to find the area of the shaded portion. So the area of this shaded portion is area of the whole minus area of the curve, the whole curve minus the area of triangle. Okay. So solving on this, we can have the area of the curve as 10 by 3, area of the shaded portion as 10 by 3 square unit. Okay. So it is 10 by 3. Now moving on to the next question. If E1, E2 are two unit vectors and theta is the angle between them, then there is only one cos, then cos of 5 by 2 is. In the question, it is given that E1 and E2 are unit vectors and theta is the angle between them. Then cos of 5 by 2 is. We have to find the cos of 5 by 2. So here, we know that the magnitude of E1, E2 is root of E1 square plus E2 square plus 2 E1, E2 cos theta. We have magnitude of E1, E2 as root of E1 square plus E2 square plus 2 E1, E2 cos theta. So it becomes root of 2 plus 2 cos theta. So taking the 2 outside, we have magnitude of E1, E2 equal to root of 2 into 1 plus cos theta. So taking square on both sides, we have E1 plus E2 square is equal to 2 into 1 plus cos theta. So 1 plus cos theta becomes E1 plus E2 square by 2. Now we know that cos 2 theta, we know the equation that cos 2 theta equal to 2 cos square theta minus 1. So similarly, we are changing this cos theta as cos 2 theta by 2. So cos 2 theta by 2 is cos theta itself. So cos 2 theta by 2 equal to 2 cos square theta by 2 minus 1. So substituting it here, cos theta as 2 cos square theta by 2 minus 1. So this 1 gets cancelled. So we have E1 plus E2, magnitude of E1 plus E2 square by 2 equal to 2 cos square theta by 2. Okay. Now taking square both sides, we can have E1 plus E2 by 2 equal to cos theta. And the question it is asked to find out cos theta by 2. So we are rearranging it in the form of this cos theta in the form of cos theta by 2. So cos theta by 2 becomes E1 plus E2 by 2. Okay. So here cos theta by 2 becomes E1 plus E2 by 2. So the correct answer for this question is option C. Now the next question is, an angle between the plane x plus y plus z equal to 5 and the line of intersection of the planes is 3x plus 4y plus z equal to z minus 1 equal to 0 and 5x plus 8y plus 2z plus 14 equal to 0. The line of intersection of planes are given and also the plane equation for the plane is given. Okay. So these are the two line equations of the lines. So we have to find the direction of intersection of the line. We have the coordinates as I, j, k. So I is 3. In the first equation, it is I is 3, j is 4, k is 1. And the second, I is 5, j is 8, and k is 2. So solving for the direction of line of intersection, we can have it as minus j plus 4k. And in the question, it is given that, given the equation as x plus y plus z equal to 5. We can write it as I plus j plus k. Okay. So we have the A as I plus j plus k and B we have find by the direction of line of intersection as minus j plus 4k. And in the question, it is asked to find out the angle between the plane. So we can use either equation for the cos theta or sin theta. Okay. So here A cross B equal to AB sin theta. A cross B equal to AB sin theta. From the sin theta is A cross B by AB. We have A and B with us. That is I plus j plus k into minus j plus 4k by AB. So solving this for A cross B and A dot B, we have 3 by root 3 root 17. So this root 3 get cancelled and we have the answer as root 3 by root 17. That is option A. A cross B equal to AB sin theta equal to A cross B by AB. So substituting for the A and B vectors we can have the answer as sin theta equal to root of 3 by 7, root 17. That is root 3 by 17. And the question it is asked theta. So if we have sin theta, then theta is equal to sine inverse of root 3 by 17. So theta is equal to sine inverse of root 3 by 17. So the answer becomes option A. Okay. Now moving on to the last question of mathematics session. If the coefficients of 3 successive terms in the binomial expansion is 1 plus x whole raised to n. Okay. So if the coefficient of 3 successive terms in the binomial expansion of 1 plus x whole raised to n are in the ratio 1:7:42, then the first of these terms in the expansion is. We have to find the first of these terms in the expansion. So we know the equation for 1 plus x all raised to n. It is nc0 plus nc1 x raised to 1 plus nc2 x raised to 2 plus etc. ncn x raised to n. So here the three successive terms ratio is given 1:7:42. So we are taking that three successive terms as NCR x raised to r, NCR plus 1 x raised to r plus 1, NCR plus 2 x raised to r plus 2. That is NCR plus 1, NCR plus 2 equal to 1:7:42. So taking these ratios and individually solving them, we can find out the value of n. That is NCR by NCR plus 1 equal to 1/7. NCR is n factorial by r factorial into n minus r factorial. Similarly, NCR plus 1 is n factorial by r plus 1 factorial into n minus r minus 1 factorial. So solving these two, we can have the equation n equal to 8r plus 7. So we solved NCR to NCR plus 1. Now NCR plus 1 to NCR plus 2 equal to 7/42. Similarly, NCR plus 1 by NCR plus 2 equal to 7/42. Expanding NCR plus 1 and NCR plus 2. NCR plus 1 equal to n factorial by r plus 1 factorial into n minus r minus 1 factorial, and NCR plus 2 equal to n factorial by r plus 2 factorial into n minus r minus 2 factorial. Okay. So cancelling out these terms, and we can find another equation as 7r plus 13 equal to n. So we have two equations for n equal to 8r plus 7 and n equal to 7r plus 13. So we can find the value of r. We have the value of r as 6. Now substituting in any of this equation, we can find the value of n. So 8r plus 7 equal to n. R is 6. So 8 into 6 plus 7 equal to 55. So we got n as 55. So as per our calculation, NCR is the first term. So NCR is 55 C6. But in the expansion a plus x whole raised to n, in general terms, the first term is TR plus 1, that is NCR. So TR plus 1, we have the value of R as 6. We have to find the first term in this. So the first term becomes R plus 1. TR plus 1 is the general term. That is, the first term is TR plus 1. So the R becomes R plus 1. That is 6 plus 1, 7 is the first term of the equation. So this is a simple question. We are having the ratio, expanding it and solving for the ratios, we'll get two equations. Solving these two equations, we can find the value of R. So substituting the value of R in any of this equation, we can find the value of n. And then in the expansion, we have the first term as TR plus 1 equal to NCR. So R is 6. So R plus 1 becomes 7. Okay. So checking on the option, the correct answer is 7. That is B. So these were the mathematics questions that were used, that you attended in the last mock examination. So I think all the solutions are clear. And one more thing, in the chat box, I will be providing my mail ID. So if you are having any doubts, if you are having any doubts, you can ask me.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful session. I thought it was long, but it was a wonderful session, and many of the students really appreciate it.
Okay, sir, just a minute. If any of the students need the PDF or the solved portions, they can directly mail me. I have put the mail ID in the chat box. Okay, so you can directly mail me. I'll send you the PDF of the questions as well as the options.
We will be uploading this video in our portal, amritacbtpractice.in, the same portal where you are attending your practice test. So by next week, in another 3 or 4 days, you can log into your Amrita application portal, Amrita CBT portal. You can access these videos. So actually, there is a question from one of the students. He just wants an explanation of question number 5.
Just a minute, sir.
And before that, kindly, I have shared the link for the feedback. So you can just click that link. It was not working before. I think now it's working. So you can just click that link and you can provide your feedback. So it will be helpful for us also. To if there's any changes we need to make for next session, we can do that. So please provide your feedback also meanwhile.
Okay. So question number 5, it is given as if 10 raised to 9 plus 2 into 11, 10 raised to 8 plus 3 into 11 square, 10 raised to 7 plus etc. 10 into 11 raised to 9 equal to k into 10 raised to 9. We have to find the value of k in this question. So seeing this arrangement, it will be some series. So we have to find out what it is. So what we are going to do is we are going to get this expansion as S. We are taking this expansion as S. So let S is equal to the expansion. So we'll name that equation as equation number 1. Then we are multiplying the whole equation by 11 by 10. So 11 by 10 is equal to 11 by 10 into this whole series. Okay. So we'll have another equation. Now we are going to solve these two equations, that is A minus B. We have A as the first equation, B is the equation which we get by multiplying 11 by 10 to the whole series. So we have another equation. So we are subtracting A by B. After subtracting, we can find out this equation as a series, this as a series. Okay. So we know that the Sn term is equal to A into R minus 1 by R minus 1. We know the equation to find the value of R. R is equal to 11 into 10 raised to 8 by 10 raised to 9, the first term. So we have the value of R as 11 by 10. Now substituting in the equation, the first term is 10 raised to 9, R is 11 by 10. And the total number is 10, N is 10. Okay. So 10 raised to 9 into 11 by 10 whole raised to 10 minus 1 by 11 by 10 minus 1. So solving this whole series, we can find the value of S. So S, we got it as 10 raised to 11. But we only named the expansion as S. But we know that S is equal to some value into K. That is 10 raised to 9 into K. So S is 10 raised to 11, which is equal to K into 10 raised to 9. We can write this 10 raised to 11 as 10 square into 10 raised to 9. So the 10 raised to 9 on both sides will get cancelled and we have the value of K as 10 square. So we will find out the value of K as 100. There are many similar questions like this, but you have to concentrate on the expansion term. Then only you can find out which series is this, how you can find the Sn term and how you will solve this question. So that is the only idea you need to have to solve this question. Okay.
One of the students is saying that the question 16 is a little confusing.
Just a minute. If anyone of you are having any doubts in these questions, you can directly contact me. I'll tell you. Okay. You can mail me. Maybe I can send it, or you can call me so that I'll tell you the details. Okay. So the equation of the circle described on the code is given as 3x plus y plus 5 equal to 0. Of the circle, x square plus y equal to x square plus y square equal to 16 as the diameter. So here there are two circle concepts. The first one is the circle that is described on the code, and the code of the circle is acting as the diameter to the another circle. So there are two circles in this concept. That is, you need to get an idea about this concept. Okay. So 3x plus y plus 5 equal to 0 is the code of the circle x square plus y square equal to 16. So from this, we can have the value of y and substitute in this equation of the circle, and we can have the value of x1, x2. Similarly, substituting for x and the y, we can find the value of y1, y2. So we have the solutions of y and x. That is, we got the values. While solving this values, we'll get the endpoints of the code as x1, x2, y1, y2. Okay. And also in the question, it is clearly given that the code forms diameter to another circle. The code is acting as diameter to another circle. So it is clear that the midpoint will be the midpoint of the code will be the center point of the circle. So the center points of the circle we can find, we have x1, x2, y1, y2. We can find it as x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. So the center of the circle we found out. So if we have the center of circle, we can write the equation of circle as x plus 3 by 2 whole square plus y plus 1 by 2 whole square equal to r square. We have x and y. Substituting any of the x and y values we found, and we can have the equation of r. We have values for x and y. Substituting any of the values, we can find out the value of r square. So putting this value of r square in the equation of the circle we have written, we can have the new equation. So the new equation is x square plus 3x plus y square plus y minus 11 equal to 0. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I have retyped my mail ID also. If there is anything, you can directly contact me. No issue. Maybe through call or something, I can always help you. Okay.
So if you have any queries, kindly you can mail it directly to ma'am. She will be messaging her mail ID in the chat box, so you can note it down. So as we said, like tomorrow we will be having one practice test by 4 p.m. So all the students are requested to attend it because these are some of the main questions. Like if you practice more, it will be easy for you to crack the AAA entrance examination. So please do attend the test tomorrow 4 o'clock without any fail. So we'll be having same type of session coming weeks also. We'll be sending you mail and all those things. So this recorded video will be uploaded in our CBT website, the same portal where you are attending the practice test, www.amritacbtpractice.in. I have already messaged it in the chat box, so you can access this video anytime. So if you have any queries, as I said, we can just attend. You can just mail it to them directly. So that's all. Thank you, Lakshmi ma'am. Thank you for your full support. It was a very good session. I hope the students also enjoyed the session very well. And again, we request you to provide your feedback. I have already shared the link, so it will help us to improve if there is anything in the future sessions also. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.